The fact it didn't work means
I'm
you're at
on
least
point tonight.
yes.
I'm ready for
a
everything.
checkpoint.
Ah!
No, it doesn't work. Welcome, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for us to have basically a podcast with Steve from Checkpoint.
Hello. What's
As you
going
can see, he
on?
doesn't have a cam.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a cam because he's a monster.
Yeah, I'm poor.
And
You'll have to
now
supply me
I'm the
with one
monster.
next time.
Now I'm the monster with the gentrification of YouTubers with cameras. Okay, my bad.
Well done.
Here. So we've never had him on. So introductories of he's a YouTuber like me. Do you do Twitch?
Yeah, I actually did a stream today, but I don't do it very often at all.
Oh, okay.
It's just when I get a spare minute, really.
Okay, so there you go, and he does things that he does. Now, I know you're doing something different, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you done YouTube?
Oh, man. Well, I've been through multiple channels over the years. I think this is like my third one, I think. I started, I don't even know what year it was, but I was very young. And it was during that whole, like, Minecraft, Call of Duty phase, where everyone just wanted to show what they can do, like, in-game and stuff. And that was, as I said, I don't remember the exact date, but that was when I first started making content. And then I think this channel is the one where I've really taken it seriously. You know what I mean? This is the one where I've really kind of knuckled down and tried to make it work. So this is like my first proper serious crack, I guess. This channel's been going on for about 3 years now, I'd say.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's in the middle of it, I think, in the fumble in the middle somewhere. Just to give a little background, if I can expand for a second, it started out as like a duo channel between myself and a friend. Since then, he kind of doesn't have time to make videos anymore, so we kind of parted ways. I kept the channel, and here we are. So yeah, that's a shortened history of the Checkpoint right there.
So you were Check and Point. Okay.
That's a good idea. If I could go back in time, I'd totally recommend that.
Oh dear. I'm Check and I'm Point, and we are.
That's genius. I'm gonna get into contact with him now.
Oh dear. And this is how your channel explodes right there. Just goes nuts. So it was gonna be the next one's usually like how'd you get started, but I think you kind of said that kind of.
Yeah. Basically, I don't know. I was just kind of I didn't know anything about like how to grow on YouTube or anything. It was more just trying to make funny things and stupid things on the internet, and it didn't go well. But now, you know, I'm kind of a little bit more focused, I'd like to think. So yeah, it's
okay.
It's going. I'm not gonna say it's going all right, but it's going.
We're in the middle of the apocalypse, and other things happen with YouTube, and lots of bad things, which is why you're seeing a big Twitch push from a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like YouTube and Twitch have different audiences and different things that they're worth having.
Yeah.
I think I had this conversation a while back, but the way I see it is YouTube is a place to put more thought pieces and things that people can watch whenever they want. And Twitch is more live and more connected. So if you want to engage with your community actively, I think Twitch is for that. If you want to engage with them passively, YouTube's for that, I feel.
Absolutely. And another thing you've got to take into regard with Twitch is that when you're streaming on Twitch, you've got to be 100% all the way throughout that stream. But on YouTube, if something goes wrong, pause the recording, take a step back, start again. It's obviously a bit, you've got to be a bit more, I think, active and energetic to make it all the way through a Twitch stream while keeping that audience. That's kind of why I enjoy the safety of YouTube. I mean, it's not really safe at the minute, but very unstable. That's probably a bad word, but that's probably why I feel more comfortable on YouTube than Twitch, I'd say.
Yeah, each are different beasts of artistry and perfection. Yeah, because you can make a really nice polished thing on YouTube, while Twitch you can't, and it's also you have to be there in the moment. Yeah, on YouTube you can take your time with it. Like, they both have their advantages. Anyone who's exclusively one or the other that's fine. But if you're in it in like one's terrible because of this or that or other, like no, each have advantages that are worthwhile for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on what they're doing. Like if you just want to sit down and play as a person, then Twitch, you're kind of fine just doing it that. Although you can of course save them and put them up on YouTube, which is kind of how we do our LPs. But if you want to have thoughtful discussions, and thought pieces, you can have discussions, but you can't really put that up on Twitch as something that will stand there and stay there. Like, I'm not going to watch the Jimquisition on Twitch. That's not going to work out.
Right, yeah, sure.
So there are advantages to each. And yeah, I like them both for what they can do.
As I said, you can take your time more with YouTube and kind of decide like which way you're going to go about it, rather than Twitch where you have to be like reacting to everything that's happening in the game as it happens, or else someone's going to get a Twitch highlight of you just messing up, and that's it. You're over. You're done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's something I think worth considering is if you have enough of a community, if you could get them to, I just thought of this right now, is if the community Twitch highlights enough of them, you can extract those and make a compilation of the highlights that your viewers liked and put them on YouTube. Might be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
I might try that now. I just thought of that.
No, I'm taking that. That's another idea I'm taking.
Like, essentially, it kind of helps you out if, let's say, PUBG is extremely popular. 1.34 million
ridiculous.
Was the peak players on Steam. Like, I really enjoy PUBG. I cannot believe it's that popular. Especially because it's not exactly finished.
Yeah, it's not very polished, but
yeah, it's
that
not
kind
polished,
of adds to the
it's still
charm.
Broken.
Yeah. Like, a lot of those sort of games kind of add to the charm there. Like, you see on YouTube all the time, and I imagine Twitch, like these glitchy messes, but that just provide just so many, like, funny moments and stuff like that, especially multiplayer games. So
yeah, let's see. Like,
seems like at the minute, the more glitchier, the more kind of, not really messed up, but like that slight hint of brokenness to them, those seem to do really well. Like, the battle simulators are always glitchy. You know?
Oh, God.
All that sort of stuff is what's really getting people going at the minute. So I guess
love the battle simulator.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially like you're just bashing toys together, but on a million scale.
Yeah, it's like a hypothetical. It's like, who would win in a fight? And then you actually put them against each other and see, who'd have thought that a T-Rex could rip apart a penguin so easily?
Yeah, I spent a couple hours watching those. I was like, oh my god. Like, if you've not seen this, like, I think there's like one or two battle simulators, because there's
been a bunch.
There's like an older one. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay,
yeah.
I've only seen two, and they're probably actually a bunch of games about it, but they're actually.
Yeah,
I actually thought there is two. And one guy had, like 1 million Spartans versus like 30,000 Jedi.
Yeah.
And the Jedi just killed them all, but seeing it all on screen, essentially. Your frame rate just dies because there's too many particle effects on screen from that, but
yeah, just
seeing things just get destroyed because it's just a sea of red slowly getting devoured back out by Jedi.
Well, I think one of the more bigger ones is called Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, and I think I read that one uses kind of the same technology they used in the Lord of the Rings movies, for the big battles, and they've kind of like taken that technology and put it into a game. But yeah, you do need a beefy computer for that, or else, it's just going to explode while you're recording. So that's probably not good.
Those are silly videos. Interesting, but it got boring quick.
Yeah.
There's potential there to just like, oh, this will be fun to look at, but it's also potential to be really boring.
Yeah, especially when you're recording, because you're like, basically you set them all up.
There.
You press play and then you're like, right, let's see how this plays out. And you just, yeah. There is a way to, like, I think, like, control them. Like, you click on them and you can control them, but still, like, now you've got to go against, like, 10,000 enemies. And you've kind of done it to yourself, so, yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, it just made me think of Mountain Blade series.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you've ever played Mountain Blade.
I have not.
Mountain Blade's pretty good, and in it, you can do just a versus mode in there. We just have, I think, like, up to 50 or 100... No, 200 troops, actually, on both sides.
Oh, man.
And you're actively playing in the game as well.
Yeah.
So you can have just massive things fighting, and you're in it as well, and you're fighting in it. It's just really fun.
So do you get to choose how many you go against, or is it like a set amount?
Yeah, you get to choose how many and which types and everything. Right. So it's pretty fun. Right. And I'm just thinking that, like, if you could do a battle simulator and play in it, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't want to be just playing a Jedi, just cutting through a bajillion Spartans? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've played it, but I imagine it'd be something like Dynasty Warriors, where there's just waves upon waves of enemies, and you just kind of swing your big sword around and do all these spin attacks, and they all go flying in the air and stuff. I imagine it'd be something like that, but
I want, and it hasn't been made, and I wish it was, is if they freaking made a Godzilla where you are taking on a town.
Yeah.
Like, there's just tanks and other things trying to bug you, but you're just wrecking buildings, you're throwing tanks at other tanks.
Just completely destructible environments, that'd be so good.
Yeah. I really want that. The last good Godzilla for me was back on the N64, because that's the last Godzilla I played. And you could play all the other monsters from Godzilla, and it was just they're fighting each other, but they're also wrecking buildings at each other.
Yeah.
And then I know the newest one.
I can't say I've ever played a Godzilla game, but sounds fun.
Like, I like games that, because, okay, so games for the most part, they give us a lot of things. This is why games are so awesome. They give us whatever fantasy we want in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of power fantasy.
Yeah.
For sure. And then you got simulators for other things. You've got, for the people who want, like, love stories, you got visual novels and stuff like that. If you want drama, I guess that as well. But if you want action, you want power fantasy, there's a ton of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want the power fantasy of Godzilla. Just a giant beast just wrecking. And what gave me a little bit of that...
You don't just want, like, a puny foot soldier. You want to be the monster among men. You want to be a Godzilla. You want to,
King of all monsters.
Yeah.
And what helped with that is, now we're doing a plug, Atomega.
Yes.
That gave me some of that feeling when we were playing it. That game comes off embargo when this comes out. So we both played it. We played it with me, you, Fraz, Killer, and Incursus.
Yep.
Is his name?
Yeah.
And so I don't know when all of us are releasing it. Probably day of release.
Yeah.
But what I like about the game is they did a pretty good job of, you feel like a hulking beast when you got to the bigger form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gorilla form, Superion, I felt like this giant thing. You're moving really slow. I felt like a big mech. It's a really nice feeling. I think that's what I like, is how, having played Mech Warrior games. I don't know if you've ever played those.
Nope, can't say I have.
There's something really fun about feeling like you're in a giant rig and it just moves slow.
Yeah.
And you just blow things up. It's such a fun feeling. And Atomega does that pretty well.
Yeah, especially when you're like the smaller little forms and you can like kind of like snake between all the little tunnels. But when you're like a giant beast thing, you don't really like care because you can cover so much ground. And like obviously you have the disadvantage of not being able to like get under all those little nooks and crannies, but you don't care because you can just laser anyone that comes out of the tunnels. It's just, God, it was such a good feeling. It was great.
Yeah. I think I'm worried about the bouncing curve to that game, because when you're big, you're just kind of dominating, and when there's enough small people, they just can't do anything to overcome the big.
Right.
One problem with the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun, because once the big people hit Omega, then they reset, so they get the small mode, but it just feels like once enough people are at the big, you just can't catch up. It just really feels a bit frustrating.
Yeah, it's more a case of like avoiding that specific area of the map and trying to look elsewhere for the most part. But I still had fun with it. I thought it was very fun.
It was fun. I think we had a lot of fun with it. We played for like an hour plus. It was really fun. I just worry about longevity. Like, I think for every game, I always worry about longevity. I feel like little bits, games can be very fun in the first hour or two. If they're not fun the first hour or two and you gotta wait for it for later, that's a harder sell. But if they're really fun at the start, that's great.
Yeah.
But it's then the longevity. Like, how much longer is this game going to last? It's about how fun is the novelty versus how fun is the loop, I guess.
Yeah. I get you. I'm not sure really how they could expand on it from there. I guess more maps, more power-ups and stuff. I don't really see how they can go past like that form. Do you know, the ultimate form, the Omega? Because once you get that, you're pretty much like unstoppable. So I don't know if they could make more forms past that part. Maybe they'll have like interchangeable forms, like you can choose what you want in place of the Omega or something. I don't know, but for the time we played that, a lot of fun. I'd highly recommend it.
It would be interesting if you had other forms you could do, like loadout forms. Would be curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And tying this back to PUBG, PUBG has that fun gameplay loop, and it has an interesting novelty to it that hasn't worn thin.
Yeah.
I am getting the game eventually does get stale. It's getting a bit stale for me. PUBG is getting a bit stale. It's still fun, but it's getting a bit stale. Because it is the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Any game's gonna have that. It's just when that hits for you. Because if you really like a game, you can spend 1,000 hours before it hits staleness. Because I have played every single Dynasty Warriors game, all of them, and that is a game that should get stale very fast, but it does not for some reason. Because all you're doing are just mowing people down with different characters. That's all you're doing. But it's still fun, and I think it's just because it does very well the power fantasy of just mowing things down. And also because the characters are very colorful in that game.
Yeah.
Like, every character is their own character.
In PUBG as well, there's a point where it gets very slur. Like, at the start, everyone's rushing to get all the weapons. You might see one or two people at the start, but then that middle part where you just kind of like, should I go for that building? Should I keep driving? You know, it gets a bit slow at that part. So I think that's why you don't get the same. Why it gets a bit stale is because of that whole slog in the middle part. And then once you get to maybe rank 20 or 30 or something, you're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So there's a big slump in the middle there, but I don't know. I kind of like to play PUBG in phases. Essentially, I'll stop playing it for a week or so, and then I'll come back. And I'm like, let's try this again.
I think that's the right way to do it. There's ways to make it more interesting. Yeah. I think if you have viewer challenges, you can make it more fun. Like, viewers, you have to go to this location, or you have to use this weapon, or you have giving yourself constraints to make it more interesting.
Right.
I'm like, if I get a car, I'm required to run somebody the hell over. That is the rule. Someone's getting run over if I can help it.
Well, there are custom games you can make, aren't they? I've seen I've seen stuff like the zombie mode, and I've seen demolition derbies and stuff like that. Just I don't have time to do any of that though. I just want to, try kill as many people as I can. Usually one, maybe two.
There's there's ways to make it more interesting for sure. So it does have longevity. It's a solid game. It really is. It's just still weird. It's got a bajillion people playing it. And watching it. I don't know. It's just figuring it out is so weird because it's fun. It's immersion gameplay is a way because it's just always different every time.
Yeah.
The map's the same, but things do spawn differently there.
Yeah, it relies a lot on the weapon drops and stuff. You can go from a terrible game to a really bad game with one building loot. You know what I mean? You can enter a building and find a sniper rifle and some assault rifles and loads of meds, and then you're like, I'm set. But on other games, you're like, oh crap, I'm 20 minutes in, I only have a pan. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's always that. There's always that randomness to it, which I guess keeps people watching a little. Yeah,
there's the run when we recorded where we landed at a place and we ended up with those other people at the same time.
Well, I died 20 seconds in.
Yeah, that one where I get a scythe and I kill that entire team.
That entire squad, yeah.
Yeah, just reaped them all.
Yeah,
which was silly. And
as we said, I think part of that is just how glitchy it is in places. That's why it's so entertaining at points. It's the fact you can kill an entire squad with just a scythe is just
yeah,
just ridiculous.
There's a lot of fun to it, and the glitchiness to it can really add to it.
Yeah.
Then there's just the videos that you see of things that happen, where there's the guy who he's on the motorcycle, he goes off a hill, and he rolls the bike a few times, doesn't get killed rolling the bike, somehow lands, and then a car from the side T-bones him, he's dead. It's like, oh my god!
Just thwacks him off the screen, yeah.
Yeah, because just imagine how that driver feels. They're just driving, and then this motorcycle just out of nowhere shows up and right in front of you, and boom!
Yeah, well,
that's just great.
I was playing today, and I was playing with headphones in, and I had them the wrong way around. So my left was on the right, and my right was on the left. I was like, oh god, I hear a car to my right. So I was posted up, looking that way. I was like, I don't see it. And then just from the other side, I just get ran over by a car. It's just great. But yeah.
It's a funny feeling if you're driving just in the grass and you ran someone over. What? Wait, what? There was someone there?
Put it in reverse, go back and check, yeah. Just when you're in cars, though, when you're in vehicles, you just feel so, like, out in the open, or like something bad's going to happen immediately. Like, you're either going to roll the car's going to explode for no reason. It's just, yeah, I think they need to kind of take a look at those vehicle mechanics a bit and kind of tweak them, maybe.
They're a bit wonky. I had a run with Jinx where we're in the smaller car, and a Jeep's chasing us, and they're shooting at us, and we're just zigzagging to get away from them. And then we go off a hill, and we just land perfectly. They flipped and landed on the head, and they both died. And we just turned around and took their stuff and just laughing like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, that...
There's just so many random things that happen, and you're just like, wow. Like today I was, I think it was actually caught on stream. It was really early on, and I landed at a group of buildings, and in the distance I see this guy running, and he doesn't have a weapon out, and I'm like, man, look at this, guys. We're going to have a fist fight in the middle of the street. So we're both running towards each other. I'm like, here we go. This is going to be great. Last second, he pulls a shotgun off his back and just blasts me, and one shot, one kills me. And I'm like, never mind. Oh. It's just, yeah, it's very situational, that game. You never know what's going to happen. I think that's probably why it's kept its longevity for so, well, it's not been that long, but...
Yeah, this is why it's so popular, I feel, is because the randomness can do to it. And it's, I don't know, I feel like that's what makes it weird, is it still gets stale because I guess a game eventually gets stale.
Yeah.
Where I think it might be the lull. That lull in the middle might be part of the problem, which you can't do anything about because that's how it is. I have gotten second and third place at least a couple dozen times.
Yeah, same here.
And it's like, get the first.
It's just that the one kill that matters is the one at the end, and I can't quite get it. It's just...
I've gotten to second with no kills. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sneak. I want to kill everyone, but I know if the second I do, I'm going to get killed. And like, I'll get the second. Okay, this guy picked him off. Okay, I just got to get this guy. Oh, he got the headshot. Son of a...
Yeah.
It's a fun game, and it's always like, when you see the airdrops, like, don't go there. Don't ever go there.
I don't think I've gone for it at all, apart from that one time you and I were playing, and there was like 2 months.
When we died.
and everyone was like, yep, Steve, you go for that one. I was like, all right. Steve, go for the other one. Okay. Shot immediately. Yeah. So that's why I'm staying away from them.
I think something that will potentially make the game, I want to say better and worse, is when they finally put in a freaking shooting range.
Yes. Yeah.
Because people will finally know how to aim. Like, we'll see better gameplay because people actually learn how to aim, but we'll see people die more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I guess we just hit on the head why it's still so popular, because it's like, there's a lot that works out with that game, and also just silly things. And it's fun.
Yeah.
Definitely fun.
It's broken to a point where it's still playable, but that bit of brokenness is like the fun part for people watching. So, yes, it's doing well.
The store can go F itself, though. Oh my god.
Yeah. How many pairs of like camo pants do you have? Because I have like billions of baseball caps and vests and stuff that I just can't get rid of. Well, I think you can. I think you can sell them. Yeah.
How much more money you want, PUBG? How much more? Because it's like $400 for a pantsuit? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, I think PUBG's got a bit of a bot problem at the minute, as far as I've read. Like AFK bots basically spawn in. Obviously, they're going to die outside the play zone. But for every game you play, you get so many points. So basically, if you run a bot that just plays the game repeatedly, you're going to get those points up, and then you can just buy what you want, essentially. Just have as many loot boxes as you want. I'm going to
do you get, though? Because you don't get a lot. Like, even if you win, you don't get a lot. Oh, okay. I've never won, so I can't say that. Even if you get, like, second, you only get a bit. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, let me just check.
And they get expensive. Like, the first one is only this much, and then the second one's already, like, double the price. And
you get about 50 to 70 for dying in the player zone. So even if you don't kill anyone, 50 to 70, and it's like, what is it for the first loot box of the week? It's like 700?
Yeah.
So, obviously, you got to do it a couple of times, but yeah.
Shoot, that still takes a while. Okay, botting to... not an effective way to make money. I think better off just going to Starbucks and getting an application. I don't.
Yeah, if you're gonna make money through playing, a video game, then either make YouTube videos
you're making money through not even playing it. Like, that's making money through just sitting your computer down, like thinking of electricity, internet cost, all these things.
But how else are you gonna get those fancy blue vintage baseball caps in game?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think logistically, because sometimes I think about it as like, spend all this time for this thing, you realize if you just had a job, which if all you're doing is slogging through AFKing,
yeah,
you probably might have more value just working at Starbucks. Like,
being productive, doing things.
Something like, well, getting a venti for someone who's being productive because they're writing something, I guess. I don't know, because giving coffee. Nothing against baristas.
To all the baristas out there.
Realizing. Nothing against y'all. You smile for 8 hours a day or 10 hours. That's hard. That's very hard to do because that gets very tiring.
You should all become Twitch streamers. And
you can stay active all the way through.
Yeah.
Maybe they're the ones built for it, but like you gotta deal with so many dumb people.
Right.
So many dumb people. Like, I hate customer service so much.
Uh-huh.
I hate it so much. I've worked cons. I've worked Comic-Con and a couple other conventions, like
how was
working as staff. Comic-Con is a cluster. Cluster F, like, holy crap, because it's a building that can only hold about maybe 100,000, I think, or 50,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 500,000 people there.
Oh, jeez. Like, is it all shoulder to shoulder shuffling through?
Yeah, I'm going over a little bit. Like, the fire marshal only allows so many inside.
Right.
It's the entire downtown area that's covered in 500,000 people to 1 million people. There's too many people down there. It is a sea of people, a literal sea of people.
Yeah.
And I worked line management.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So you were in charge of keeping it all together then, making sure no one gets trampled. Essentially.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, keep the lines like this. You got to keep the doors from being covered because that's a fire hazard, so no one can get in front of doors. So you have to break up the lines in different spots. You got to figure out how you're going to delineate everything. It's like, do we have space to put people here? Put people here? And like, depending on the weather, how hot it is, someone's going to get sunstroke, so you got to make sure no one gets sunstroke.
Oh my god.
You're hoping for a cool breeze. And if it rains, you got to worry about that. It's like, well, it's raining. What do we do? F them. They got to stand out there anyway.
How long did you have to stand there then and kind of make sure nobody was dying? Was it like a long period?
It's an all-day thing.
Is it?
Comic-Con's all day.
Do you not have like a rota or something? Like someone swaps out for you?
Oh yeah, you can do that. But there's people who are working the whole 16. There are people who are working the whole 16, and maybe 17 or 18 hours. They're working the whole thing.
Holy crap.
And because they have halls that hold about 10, 20,000 people. I think each is 10, 20,000. And then D20, or is it A, whatever 20 letter it is, it holds about 8,000 people. So it's just managing all these lines and all these things. And you have some uppity people and not so uppity people.
Right. There's always those people that like think they should be further ahead than they are. You know what I mean? Like real snobby about it, yeah.
And then the most amazing thing was the man, the dude who was in charge of line management at Disney shows up, walks up to me and he says, "You guys suck." I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn. It's like,
wow.
Damn. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I was like, I've been doing this for decades. You guys are terrible. There's so many things you could do better. I'm like,
oh my god.
Could you make those suggestions, please? Like, no, I'm off right now. I was like, I know, but you're killing me. Like, you are awful. This is terrible. I don't want to be here. My kids love this place, but I don't want to be here. I'm like, I am sorry, sir. I am so sorry. I'm sorry we don't do Fast Pass here.
And he was the line manager of Disney.
Yeah, Disneyland. I'm like, damn.
God.
Like, this is the guy to come over and slap you. Like, like, it's like you're a chef and Ramsay shows up. He's like,
yeah,
it's terrible. It's raw and it's overcooked at the same time. What did you do?
Oh, Gordon Ramsay, our country's pride and joy.
Depending on if you watch the US or the BBC version of Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the American version of Kitchen Nightmares and then your version of Kitchen Nightmares and compared them. Have you?
They show it a lot here, the US version. I think I've seen more US than I've seen British, to be honest.
I'm surprised because, like, I've seen both because my dad watches both.
Yeah.
And, like, the US version is very aggressive Gordon Ramsay. He's so mad at everybody.
Yeah.
And then the British one is he's such a friendly fellow. So
is he
still gets mad. Like he still gets mad at times if they do something really dumb. But he's like, "Oh, don't worry, we can solve this problem. We can do this. We're totally gonna do this together." And like in a Kitchen Nightmares, like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, a lot of Kitchen Nightmares devolves down to something like Gordon Ramsay family helper by the end of it.
That too.
Not a lot of it ends up like actually fixing the kitchen or helping the chefs. It just ends up like, you two are made for each other. Come on, let's all get along and be a happy family. And like, thanks, Gordon. And then he leaves.
Yeah, my favorite show. I can't believe we're talking about Gordon Ramsay. My favorite show with Gordon Ramsay. This is what this podcast is. It goes everywhere. And that's why I like it so much. We'll tie back to games. Gordon Ramsay has a mobile game that's not bad. But...
Does he? Oh my god! Let me search this.
It's a Diner Dash kind of game.
Yeah.
And at times you can tap Gordon and he just fixes everything because of course he does.
Does he have a voiceover where he just swears at you?
Yeah, I think it's a sound-alike though. Who's just
it says
they'll do ampersand and all that stuff with him.
The age rating is 12, so I hope not. There's gonna be some kid out there playing it, and then he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, shut up,"
He's like, "Everything's a donkey. Everything's a donkey."
Complete 60 brand new levels featuring the best meats a Rhodisia churrascaria has to offer. What's that?
I don't know what that is.
What is this? I'm gonna put this in the Discord here. I'm gonna see if you can pronounce this because this is probably some fine cuisine or something. I'm clearly
Rhodisia churrascaria. Okay, that's a type of food.
I'm gonna see what this is.
Rhodisia churrascaria?
I think it's a Brazilian restaurant. Yeah, an all-you-can-eat style of restaurant service in Brazilian restaurants.
Oh, those are yummy. Oh, okay. I've been to one. It's like, you want food? Here's your food. He's like, yeah. Like, they just walk around with skewers and give you meat, and you just have all the meat you want, and you just get full of meat, and there you go.
This game kind of looks like. Have you played Overcooked?
No, I have not played. I've seen it. Like, it's supposed to be something like that.
It is brilliant. It is such a good game.
I'm thinking Diner Dash when I look at it.
Yeah.
Which I think is the grandmother of them all. Maybe, I don't know.
See, we've looped this back to video games now.
Yeah, there you go.
Look how good we are.
Yeah. One more aside about Gordon Ramsay. I've been to his burger place in Vegas. It's amazing.
Is it? I've never been to a Gordon Ramsay certified restaurant.
It's good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I need my thing is I need to go to a place. I need to go to one because that's just a burger one, but just a general one, and get the shepherd's pie because that's a big deal apparently.
Yeah.
And so try that out. But yeah, his food's good. Good food.
I'm just reading some reviews for this mobile game now. There's a lot of 2 stars and 1 stars.
Oh.
People shouting that it's all broken and stuff. I think this game is the PUBG of mobile games. Is what we're getting to here. Okay, let me get off this.
Oh my god! Did you see? Is it PlayerUnknown's Gamers Unknown? Something like it was a ripoff game.
No.
Like okay. It's on Steam. I will look this one up.
You take this one.
Gamers Unknown Survival. Here you go. Gamers Unknown Survival.
Oh my god.
This is on Steam.
I'm gonna search this as well.
And it's an asset flip, unfortunately. And you have crafting in it. But it's trying to just capitalize on PUBG. And it's like, what the hell?
Oh my god.
Like,
yeah.
It's games like this that give Unity a bad rap. Holy crap.
It's like they've even stolen like the developer's like username, like in Gamers Unknown. Yeah. It's not even like a brand or something. It's literally his like username, and they've taken that as well. Oh man.
Yeah. It's silly. There's too many games. Too many games.
Yeah, a lot of reviews saying asset flips, but Fortnite and GTA have both added PUBG-esque modes. I've seen.
God damn it!
I tried the Fortnite one. There is
What'd you think of that?
Video recording a video recording of me on my computer, and by the end of it, I'm just like, right, this game is crap. Let's stop this. I just shut everything down.
Yes.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever do that like during recordings? Do you ever just think like suddenly be like, nah, this game, no, never
all
mind.
The time. You don't have a choice in the matter. Like if you know it's going to be bad, you don't put it up.
Like right in the middle of it there, you're just like, I can't keep this up.
You don't Doom Takahashi it, but you don't put up bad content. Yeah. I think someone out there can probably succeed from that, but I don't know who. It's just, if it's just terrible and you can tell it's terrible, you don't put it up. And there are games that are just boring, and that's what happens with us, because, we do like Keymailer and all that, and we get these games, and like, okay, a lot of trash. No to this game.
Like, I got sent a key for something really awful looking. I'm not even going to say what it is in case anyone's watching.
Yeah. But, there are some games where it's like they put in a lot of work, you assume, and it's just heartbreaking that it's just not very good. There are developers where they do like dev diaries, and you can read the dev diaries like, wow, they have a lot of heart and soul in this. They really care. Yeah. This game sucks completely. Jesus Christ. Like, there's a game or two that I'm following the dev diary. I'm like, I hope you just have that spark of brilliance, because I've played your game. You gave me a copy, and it's bad. It's bad. I've given feedback, but I don't have constructive. I'm not entertained, and I don't know what to say to help out with that. But I'm like, not good. You really love your game. You really like it from your dev diary. I'm noticing that. You think it's amazing.
You're into the kind of like the first impression style videos. Have you ever like had a developer like say like give you backlash for your video if you've given it like a bad rating?
So the way it is I will not do a negative first impression.
Right.
At least for the most part, I don't do them. I've done a few, but I try not to, because I'm like, it doesn't really serve anybody, I don't think.
Yeah.
If the only time I do negative first impressions is if it's a big game and it's to warn people off, or if it's a game that was almost there and is like, here's why I feel negatively about it. I wish it was there, but it's not. And there's one game I've been tempted to do it, but I don't want to at the same time. I've met the developer. I like the developer. And this is what makes me just too soft maybe, because I'm a softie.
Right.
Unless you piss me off. Tooth and Tail.
Okay.
That just came out. It's from the developer of Monaco, Pocket Watch Games. Met the developer, one of the developers, really nice guy. Tooth and Tail is a brilliant game, very good RTS and everything. But the problem is it relies on randomly generated maps.
Right.
Randomly generated maps in an RTS is a stupid idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you come from there.
RTS is about mastery of the map and of your play style and of playing the game. And when a map is randomly generated, you're going to get screwed over by the map. Not just, like, I'm fine with getting beat by an opponent who knows what the hell they're doing. I'm not fine by getting beat by the map.
Sure.
And Tooth and Tail does that. And the single player does the same thing, where the maps are generated. And a single player where the maps are randomly generated could be fun, but what it ends up doing is it just puts you in really dumb situations and gets you screwed over, where you just restart. And you keep restarting until you get a good roll.
Right, yeah.
And that's not a good way to go about gameplay. So I feel like the maps should have been curated. They should not have been randomly generated. And because of that, I can't recommend the game.
Especially in like strategy games where like so much relies on you having a situation and like knowing how to work around it, rather than like it being based completely on luck, essentially.
There's a reason why Smash Brothers Melee is still the esports game and not the later ones. There's a reason for that.
Right.
And it's because there's no randomness like tripping.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they don't do items and stuff like that. Like, tripping, I find that funny, but also infuriating when they added tripping. And there's a reason why Melee is still the number one, and not the other ones.
I only played Smash Brothers Brawl, so I didn't really know tripping wasn't a long-standing mechanic.
Okay.
But yeah, I see what you mean about the randomness of it.
When in a competitive setting, you don't want randomness. You want skill and just knowing your stuff. The only place where randomness is accepted, I think, is PUBG is all about that, and they do it kind of well because everyone eventually can maybe find a good weapon to work with.
Yeah.
And Hearthstone has a lot of RNG in it. It's about being smart about your RNG with Hearthstone, but there is quite a bit of RNG to it.
Well, I guess like with PUBG especially, it's only like kind of a loose part of the game. Like you could still like do okay with like an SMG in that game, but with like something like Smash Brothers, you're relying on your movement there, and if you like trip up every so often, that's a core part of the game. That's a completely like player driven part of the game, and if you keep like falling over randomly, then obviously it's not very good. So
yeah, that's not going to go well for competitive.
Is it completely random tripping, or is it like when you do too many moves?
It's random. I believe it's completely random.
What was their thought process behind that? Why would they add something so like
because they didn't want it to be an esport? Was my understanding. Is like they weren't for esports. Like Sakurai, I believe it was. He was like, no, this is dumb, and so he put in tripping.
That's so odd.
That is, I believe, the prevailing theory from Melee players is that that's what it is. If that's actually a statement, I'm saying theory right now because I can't remember if it's a statement or a theory as to why tripping was added.
Is that in the newer ones as well? The ones for Wii U and 3DS?
I believe they took tripping out. But people are still onto Melee. They don't want to move on.
Yeah.
They still had both at EVO. They had Melee at EVO, and they had the newest Smash at EVO.
Yeah.
But EVO, Melee still has the bigger crowd, because, of course, that's how it is. You'll find people more willing to stick with something than move on.
Yeah.
And that might be how it is with Melee. And, like, one of the funniest memes was someone just bought the new Smash. Like, all right, I got Smash. They threw it right in the trash and whipped out Melee. He was like, yeah, still the best one right here. There you go. Where were we?
Gordon Ramsay, I think? No, I'm kidding. Speaking of Nintendo.
The journey we make here. You want to do that? Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, we could segue it. That's a good good part of the video to do it at, I guess.
Yeah.
Sir, you were thinking of buying a Switch. I'm
excited. Like, I got to play it at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And, like, the Joy-Con controllers. I talked about this with Killer, like, a month ago, where when I was there, I was like, I just really wanted to see what the Switch is about and play it in.
Yeah.
Got to use the Joy-Con controllers, and they're kind of small and a little awkward.
See, I have very small hands, which is...
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, it works for mice, and apparently you're a mouse. There's no camera footage. There's no camera proof that you're not a mouse.
I could just have really tiny hands. Yeah, I could be a mouse. So I don't find too much of an issue with them. But then again, I haven't really got a game that would require me to play them single. I've got Mario Kart, where you have to kind of hold them on the side, which can be a little bit annoying. But for that, I've got those, do you know the little wrist strap things, which kind of extend them a little? So I've got those. They come with the Switch. But yeah, I haven't really got any games that I need to use them in single form in, but yeah, I enjoy the Switch. It's a good console, I'd say. I think they've done really well with it this year. I'm pretty sure I saw something.
They're coming with the heat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw something saying it's outsold PS4 last month or something, which is a big deal.
Huh.
Because PS4 is like the big one at the minute when it comes to video games. So yeah, I'm glad that they're doing well there. I think one of the it was some developer. They said like when Nintendo's doing well, it's good for the industry because they're the ones who do all the unique stuff. Yeah, they do all the unique stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Because let's not forget what the Wii did. The Wii blew things out of the water. The Wii is the reason why Nintendo can screw up with the Wii U and still make another console. That's what the Wii, and then the 3DS. Those two combined.
Yeah.
Whatever it was before 3DS. Just Game Boy, handheld.
Yeah.
Those two pillars are the reason why Nintendo could fail with the Wii U, which I don't know if they failed or they just didn't make a big profit because I don't remember the charts right now.
I just don't think nobody I know has one, like has a Wii U.
I do.
Okay, well there's one then. You're the one sad
it's why
person.
it's why they can blow it and still be around. Because if you look at the sales from the Wii itself, and you look at how big Nintendo is, it actually dwarfs the others.
Right.
Because of Wii, and also because of how strong their catalog is. Because at the end of the day, no one does first party like Nintendo. They always pull it out because of the first parties.
So polished. So, such good games.
When Odyssey hits,
oh man,
oh my god, the numbers are going to be nuts. And not only that, next year, whatever that Pokemon game is, when that hits, if it's half of what everyone hopes it is, it will blow things out of the water even further.
Yeah. Metroid Prime 4 too. I'm sure there's going to be a little cult following behind that.
Probably.
Yeah. Metroid is far from their best-selling franchise, but it holds a special place.
They haven't nurtured it is the other problem. Like, they haven't really nurtured Metroid either. Like,
yeah, they seem to be kind of like putting the feelers out a bit. They kind of did. What did they do? Was it Federation Force?
Yeah, Federation Force. I only got to play the soccer mode of that game.
Right.
That's all they offered at Comic-Con. When I played, I'm like, well, that's not enough for me to know if I want to buy this.
Yeah, I don't think it reviewed very well. I think they're just trying to kind of suss out what the audience is for Metroid. Because compared to their other franchises, it's much more like adult than the other ones.
Like, they're able to cross the bridge of all ages, I feel. Like, Mario, any age. Mario can do any age.
Mario's
Kirby
timeless.
Can do any age.
Zelda.
Yoshi can do any age. Zelda can do any age. Like, even kids can play Zelda, I feel. Breath of the Wild, maybe not as easy, but I think kids could play Breath of the Wild. Considering, like, Ocarina of Time, I was like, I don't know, like a young teenager, and I was able to play that.
Yeah.
And then you had, like, A Link to the Past. I was maybe not even a teenager, like some sort of young age. I was able to play that. So it was like, Nintendo knows how to make games that are intuitive even for kids to play. Like, even with just motion controls, ARMS is pretty simple to understand.
Right.
I spent a lot of time because, I was in lines and stuff. I was playing a lot of stuff at Comic-Con, and I was seeing the kids play, like, 1-2 switch. And, like, you could see some kids didn't get it and some kids did get it. And so, like, there is some intuitiveness that works on some that doesn't. And Nintendo's just able to do all ages very well. Samus, I would say, is maybe an older age thing because it's a badass person just blowing up aliens.
Yeah. It's very
and it's also
and
complex map understanding.
Yeah.
Like, you need to understand the maps, which is probably why I'm so bad at it.
Yeah. Like, Mario and Zelda, for the most part, are like, you've got an objective, you go do that, and then you get to the next objective. But with Metroid, it's like, you got to go left and right and up and down, then you got to upgrade your suit, and then you've got to go back.
You got to go back.
Yeah. So I can definitely see why it's not got as big of a younger audience as the other franchises.
It's also because it just doesn't get updated as often either, though. Like, we get a Zelda every couple of years. It's been a long time since Samus has gotten a game.
Yeah.
Other M disappointed a lot of people. Other M wasn't even a first-party game. They had, I think it was Team Ninja or Ninja Theory, Ninja.
Yeah, they did. They did Ninja.
They did Other M, and people did not like Other M.
I actually had Other M for the Wii.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was interesting. Well, I liked it at the time, but that was when I was like not super into quality of video games. If it was fun, I enjoyed it, and I had fun with it, I guess. But I can definitely see from like a hardcore fan's perspective why it'd be taken so poorly, because it was just a weird amalgamation of side-scrolling and then first-person shooting. You'd like have to stop to scan the area. And Samus Spurk, she was like real whiny or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Well, Samus should have been freaking. Oh my god, I forgot her name all of a sudden. Alien. Sigourney Weaver. What the hell's the name of the actress? She should have been.
Oh god, what's she called? Ripley.
What's the name of the character?
Ripley. Yeah.
Samus is a Ripley character.
Yeah.
Badass woman. That's what Samus is. Not this whiny chick.
Got it.
Not this. What the hell is going on here?
It was like high school drama. And
it was like, she's the girl that thumbs down when everyone else does thumbs up, because that just shows that, like, shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
She's so edgy.
Who the hell wrote that?
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Like, shut up. Oh my god.
That's why I was so worried about Breath of the Wild with the voice acting, but it didn't really. It was
good.
It was okay voice acting, but
I like how everyone was like, "Why is she British? Why is everyone so British?" Like,
it didn't ruin the game like too bad at all, really. In fact, it is my favorite game. Like Breath of the Wild. Once I completed it, I was just like, yeah, that's my favorite game. I love it.
Breath of the Wild's amazing. Really good. There's so much to it. It's a very fun game. I don't think I have enough valid complaints to not make it the 10 that it was. Like,
right.
Jim effing Sterling's son. The amount of hate he got for not giving it a 10. My God. I think he gave it a 7. I can't remember.
Oh.
It's a 10. Because it was an amazing game that did so much.
Yeah.
So many things. Like, it was just a very fun game. I was sucked in the whole time. I just kept wanting to play it.
It took the open world genre, which is tried and tested by this point, and just blew it up even further. Yeah. I was like amazed. So much like freedom.
Oh yeah. Playing this and then playing Nier Automata right after.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played Nier Automata. Nier Automata is very smaller, much smaller open world map, but there are invisible walls everywhere.
Right.
And so after playing Zelda, it's like, why can't I go here? Why can't I go there? Why can't I go to these places? What? What's going on? Nier Automata is amazing, but after playing Breath of the Wild, it's like, well, it just makes me want this to be open world too. You get to see a really good open world with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's an amazing open world because everything you see, you can go, and then you're kind of on an island because you see this shadow realm outside of the outside of Hyrule Kingdom. You're like, what the hell's going on out there?
Right.
But for the most part, everything you see, you can go.
Yeah, it takes like stuff like the towers. Now we've seen like towers in like other open world games like Assassin's Creed.
Because that's an Ubisoft thing.
Yeah,
Ubisoft thing, and I don't see that as a dig against it because I really liked it in Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah,
and it's just a very useful mechanic. I don't understand the complaint seeing that as a dig because look at Rabbids. Rabbids is XCOM. Taking what works and using it to your advantage is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
We see them take the towers from Ubisoft and put them in Zelda, and it's a good thing to use. It was a smart thing to use in the other games.
The main difference between the Zelda towers and the Ubisoft towers are the fact that once you kind of use the towers in Ubisoft games, they kind of pop up with all these icons on the map, and you're like, okay, discovered this area, come back to it later. But with Breath of the Wild, you go to the top of a tower and you'll see, oh god, what's that? And there won't be any icons or anything on the mini. You just get literally the map itself, and you're like, oh, what's that odd-shaped blare on the map there? I better go check that out. And you make your way over, and lo and behold, it's like a fairy fountain or something. You know what I mean? Like
That's a good point. A good point. Is the UI doesn't just pop up a bunch of stuff. You have to fill in the UI yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see the shrines. You might see a fairy. There's a bunch of things you see. It's like, oh, that looks interesting, and you're like, you mark them on the map and you go towards them.
Yeah, you mark them on the map. The game doesn't do it itself. Like, you actively choose to seek it out, which I think is why Breath of the Wild has such an edge on most open world games.
That's true, because playing Shadow of Mordor, I remember that you get a tower and it's like, here's a bunch of crap on this map now. It's like, oh, okay, all right, things to do.
Yeah.
And some people would rather they just have the UI tell them things they can do. Like, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, Zelda gives you the freedom to... That's the key word, I think, freedom. And that's what Nintendo does very well, is freedom. Of the base game is pretty good, very solid, and not necessarily hard. But if you want to do everything, that's where the hard comes in.
Yeah.
This is the same thing for Mario games. Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine, any of the Marios, Mario Galaxy, any of them. You can just go through and beat them.
Yeah.
But to collect every star, to get all the secrets...
because you don't have to collect all 3 stars, you just have to collect enough to get onto the next. Yeah, I got you.
You just have to get enough to go through, but if you want to get everything, there's so much to it. Kirby does the same thing. Kirby, oh my god, you don't even get the final boss in 64 unless you get every single... I think it's every single power combination... Oh no, it's every single star thing in 64 to unlock O2. Or 02, whatever the way it's pronounced. And it's this crazy ass eyeball thing with wings that you have to fight, and you have to do everything to unlock that. You can beat the game, and you beat a big boss and everything, but if you want the true final boss, you got to get everything. And that's a pretty fun final boss to fight, and it's got an epic song to it. It's very fun, and Kirby games are like that, where you can just go through and beat it, or you can get everything, and it will add another dimension to the game, which is always great. And it's always like this little hidden thing in the background, which makes you kind of feel smart when you get it. And that's what Kirby does. But here's something that you might find interesting with Kirby, and that is Kirby has a very dark universe.
Oh God!
If you've never, you can beat the game. Kirby games are not hard to do, but there's always the EX mode or DX mode. I can't remember what it's called right now, which is the extra mode where the game's harder, and you get to learn things about everything in that universe. In Kirby Triple Deluxe, you're fighting a zombie queen, if I remember correctly. She's actually dead. You're fighting a dead queen, who just destroyed her planet. In the newest game, like, you play the game and you do all these things, but the darkness of it, and if I'm spoiling Kirby right now, holy crap. These are just interesting. In the newest Kirby, in Robopop, you're fighting this corporation who's absorbing Popstar. They want it to build this dream machine, this machine that will allow the CEO to make any wish he wants, because he's gonna have the power. He's just gonna have ultimate power, so he can make any wish he wants. And you're just playing it. You beat the guy. You stop him from doing that, and then you got to stop a secretary who takes it, and she tries to do it too. But when you learn more about the game in the extra version, you find out when the CEO, when he got beat, he got evaporated into the ether. He's permanently dead completely.
Oh, jeez.
And you learn his last thought is of his dead daughter. Like,
gosh. God.
He destroyed planets because he wanted to make this machine to resurrect his dead daughter. It's like, holy crap. It's like, that's dark.
Jeez.
And you're just this little cute guy stopping bad guys, and you find out the bad guys are actually kind of complex.
Just a little pink guy that eats everything.
Yeah, but you just learn, like, wow, those bad guys were dicks, but they were, apparently they were gray dicks. Like, they had reasons why they were the bad people.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. And a lot of the Kirby games, they have these little hints of darkness in the background, and that's very interesting. And so it's such a kiddie-looking thing, but if you dig deeper, it's quite adult as well.
Yeah.
And that's what Nintendo is so good at, is reaching different ages through gameplay or through lore or through story in some way. And I can't wait for Odyssey, because there's so much to discover in that game.
Yeah.
I went to Comic-Con. Comic-Con's where I got to play everything.
Yeah, you've played it, yeah.
I got to play Metro City, and I kept... Basically, Dia de los Muertos City, but the Mexican one.
Right, yeah.
I got to play those two. And you're in a desert, but apparently Bowser effed things up, and he made the place a really cold place, so there's ice everywhere, and everyone's like, what the hell? There's little jokes everywhere. There's an ice cream vendor going like, well, no one wants an ice cream when there's a blizzard in a desert. Like, yeah, I would assume so. And... Yeah. The 2D wall sections are amazing. Like, they're really fun. They're also tricky, which is good. Because there's ones where you're on a 2D wall, but it's a pillar.
Right.
It's a freaking pillar. So you're going along the wall.
And it's kind of like round. The edges.
It's round. Yeah. And they're shooting bullet bills at you, so you don't see the bullet bills coming till the last second. So you better jump, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very awesome. Very creative. And there's portions that remind me of platforming from Galaxy. There's things that remind me of 64. They have a lot of things that just remind me of other times.
Yeah,
which is great. And there's secrets everywhere, and they're very intuitive. Like, take over a manhole cover with your hat, and then move the manhole cover. You have to shake the control to move it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then go down the hole, and there's a secret down here, and there's stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw the recent Nintendo Direct where they kind of did another.
Where they showed all the lands.
Yeah,
a bunch of them?
Yeah, where they showed all the moons, the power moons you can get in each level, and there's like 50 or so. And they just scroll down and it keeps going. Like, I thought it was going to be like, you collect 3 moons like you do on Galaxy, where there's 3 stars in each world. Yeah. But no, there's 50 or something.
That's what has me so excited, is Metro City is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It's this big big town. Apparently Pauline's the mayor of it.
Mm.
And there's like construction going on. You can climb up these different buildings. And there's people in parks doing things, like there's musicians you can meet, and you're trying to get these musicians together for Pauline so she can have her concert.
Yeah.
There's people playing jump rope, and you can play jump rope. There's a guy he's messing with like a 9-volt little car, and you can take him over and drive the car. You can get in a moped or a motorcycle and drive around. Of course, there's the whole, I didn't get to unlock it, but where Mario was a taxi. I want to do that. I didn't get a chance to do it. I couldn't find it.
Imagine if like someone got in the taxi and you just possess it and then like drive off with the passenger, drive off a pier somewhere.
Oh my god! It's like, it's me. It's your Uber. How you doing? And there's so much going on in that game, and the fact they're like, there's a lot of moons, and we've only shown you some of the kingdoms. Like, whoa, there's even more, because they showed like 8 kingdoms. Like, there's more kingdoms.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be.
Pack in a lot.
I'm hoping there's going to be as many galaxies as there were in Super Mario Galaxy, because there was just something new with every level for the most part in that game, and it was great. Apart from that one galaxy where you were like a bubble or something, you had to float around. Nah, screw that level. I'm not doing that one. That was like the worst one. Do you remember that one?
Like, I don't right now. Is that from 1 or 2?
Number 1. You kind of get put in a bubble in like a swamp-like area, and you've got to like float around and get all these collectibles. I can't really remember it myself.
I can't. It's been so long. I can't remember right now.
Yeah.
Like, all I remember is it was fun. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And it was so mind-blowing. Like, you're Mario on little planets and everything. You're platforming between planets. You got to mess with gravity and.
Yeah, that gravity mechanic was crazy. Like how you could like jump from one. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got the hat mechanic here, and such a simple mechanic, but it opens up so much possibility because it takes over for one. But also just having a platform you can jump on gives you so many possibilities as well to get around.
Yeah.
And this is the strength of Nintendo, is they don't have a lot of games, but their first party games, there's like one every couple months, and they're good enough that you can play that one before you get to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could spend a long time on Breath of the Wild, and if you're into multiplayer, you could spend a long time on Splatoon. You're going to spend a long time on Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And Rabbids, I'm excited for. Because that's going to be my first buy is Rabbids.
Right.
Because it's XCOM, it's Mario, it's Rabbids. I've actually been a fan of Rabbids since they first showed up.
Oh man.
Because they're basically minions, but not.
Yeah.
And they're these little silly guys. Like, I played the Rayman party games with the Rabbids. I remember that. And they're bad and good at the same time. Like, it's weird. Like, they're almost mediocre, but the Rabbids push it over a little bit. The Rabbid games.
Yeah.
And they're just silly. They're dumb and silly. And I got to play that at Comic-Con as well. I got to play half an hour of Rabbids. And without any dialogue, the amount of character you get from Rabbid Peach is amazing.
Yeah, she's
like,
taking
you know what she's about,
isn't she?
Yeah, you know what she's about right from the start, and it's just amazing. And she's just such a funny character. And I can't wait to actually play the game in full. And just, they take XCOM, they take it a couple different levels in their own way, and it's very fun and interesting. Like the explodable blocks and the fire mechanic. And in this case, your characters do have abilities. And the jumping off someone to go further mechanic. It's so many interesting mechanics I've seen. And so I'm excited to play that. And the coolest thing is, because it's a Mario Rabbids game, we're going to have kids interested in strategy.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that I think is really huge too, is it's simple enough for kids to play, and that's pretty awesome.
It's got the charm to draw the kids in as well. So, yeah.
That's what I like.
That game's gone from everyone being like, why, to being like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Like, when everyone first saw it and it got leaked, everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
Where? What? And now it's released, everyone's like, I kind of want this. I don't want to want this, but I kind of do. And it's,
At the end of the day, the key is to make a good game.
Yeah.
If you make a good game, it just shuts everyone up. That's what it does. And that's what Rabbids did. Like, I'm like, Mario Rabbids, this is freaking weird, whatever. And then I saw it was XCOM, like, okay, now I'm in.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been taken as well if it was just a bog standard platformer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, because I like Rabbids, I like Mario, but the combination, like, I don't it'll be funny, I guess, but at the same time, not interested. But then I saw the gameplay, like, okay, now I'm interested. But yeah, Rabbids will be first buy, and then Odyssey will happen. I'm on the fence for Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm on the fence for that, despite the fact I'm such a Dynasty Warriors fan. And then I don't know after that. I think I'm gonna take a look at Octopath Traveler. I don't know when that comes out.
Yeah, the demo's out at the minute. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the demo's out, and so when I get a Switch, I can check it out.
Yeah.
There's things coming. There's also nothing, but then there's also all the third parties coming out.
Yeah, a lot of indie games.
And
a hell of a lot of
good.
indie games.
That's
very good.
Indie games.
Yeah.
Because I know like SteamWorld Dig's almost out. SteamWorld Dig 2 comes out on the 21st or the 20th on Switch first, and then everywhere else.
Right.
And that's a big one because SteamWorld is such a fun franchise to me.
Yeah.
I think they exploded on the 3DS, and that's so since they did so well on 3DS first, then they won everywhere else. And it's nice to see Nintendo supporting indies and being something that indies really want to be a part of. Their internet, their net play they need to work on though, for God's sakes.
God, yeah, the online, God. I haven't really delved into that, but from what I can see, from an outside perspective here, it looks a bit shoddy. The whole using your mobile phone for like a voice chat.
A little too obtuse.
I mean, like, why don't you just call the person if we have to use our phones? Why do we have to use our precious internet data on, downloading some app and then speaking? I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting.
It's very odd. People are like, just use Discord. Thank you for showing your privilege. Thank you. Not everyone has a computer. Like,
yeah, especially if you
take. Why not everyone's a PC player?
I guess this is why they've put it on like the phone, is because you'll be on the go when you're using the Switch in some cases.
Yeah,
if you're into that sort of stuff. But yeah,
I get the idea. It's just still bad.
I mean, like, they could have easily put in a function where like you plug in one of those little, the earplugs which come with like microphones on the cords, and just plug that into the earphone slot. But I don't know.
Yeah.
That could have been the easier option. But
I don't know. Like, I feel like I get why they did phones, because phones are something that everyone's more people are having access to smartphones. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get why they did what they did, but there's still better ways, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. I think that's part of the problem, is just what are the alternatives at the same time? Because this is the thing, is when I think about it now, is the Switch is its own thing. Like, it's a portable console.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy because it's a portable console compared to a PS4 or an Xbox One X, One X.
Right.
Just the next Xbox should just be the Xbox XOXOXO. The Xbox Kiss. The Xbox Kiss.
Well, the iPhone's doing that as well, aren't they? With the $1,000 iPhone X or whatever it is.
Oh, God.
Let's not get into that. But
oh my God.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is an expensive phone.
Indeed, it is.
Is the phone jack back, or I mean, is the headphone jack back, or do they still?
I don't think it is, actually. I don't think it is. Let me
God.
check this out. iPhone X.
Oh my God.
Headphone jack. God, let's have a look. I don't think it does. No.
Jesus Christ. Come on. And I don't know. Like, the thing I try not to do is hate on something I don't really understand, because I don't know enough about Apple stuff. All I know is I want a headphone jack, so obviously not doing iPhone. But I'm like, there's people like, oh, it sucks because this sucks, is it? And whatever. Like, I don't know enough, so I don't really. All I know is that's a really expensive phone, doesn't have a jack. I'll just use my Android. Good.
I think the newest Mac didn't have any USB ports on it. You had to get like a dongle that transferred it from, I think, what they call Lightning ports on Apple phones and devices and stuff, from Lightning to USB, essentially. So you had to get an external USB port for essentially a laptop. It's just, it's yeah. They're becoming less and less accessible.
Is Apple trying to just monopolize a market for itself? Like, it's like
essentially,
the only way to use Apple is to use Apple things, and you can't be cross compatible. And it's like with you, I don't want to do that at all because I'd like accessibility. Like, I guess Apple's always had the advantage of exclusivity. Like, it's people like to be exclusive. There are people who like that,
right?
Which, bringing it back to games, I hate that about Twitch. I absolutely hate that about Twitch.
If you ever go to
TwitchCon, if you ever go to TwitchCon, don't go to TwitchCon. I freaking hate it. As a streamer, so I was at TwitchCon 2016, and my buddies are there. Like Mez is there, a couple other people are there. Like Mesmerize is a buddy that people who follow the channel, they know who he is. He's a partnered streamer.
Right.
He's got like 100-something subs and all that stuff and everything. So you got 3 groups here. You got 3 groups at Twitch. You have the fans, you've got partnered streamers, and then you got like staff or something like that. These are the 3 groups, like executives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're a partnered streamer, you were treated special everywhere. They had special areas only for partnered streamers.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck? They were feeding egos of streamers very hard here. And it's very weird because Twitch is about community. It's about everyone being together.
Yeah.
Except here. Except where we celebrate that. You're going to be separated. You're not going to be together.
We have the best user interaction, the best platform for user interaction, but if you ever think about interacting with us in public, no, sorry. You can get back.
Everything there was, here's the everyone line, here's the partner line.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, I get what you're doing, and it's wrong in every way, I feel.
Yeah, you can understand it for like press, I guess. Like
for press. And they're kind of press, exactly, but
yeah, I went to the big video game conference here in the UK, Eurogamer. The next one's coming up, EGX. That's coming up over the next couple of days. But I went to one a couple of years ago, and I managed to get in for press for that. And we had like our own little like queue. We had our own little chill out section and stuff like that. We got to play. We got to skip a huge queue for Just Cause 3, I think it was.
Nice.
And they gave us like a little like talk about the game. Like, this is who you are. This is what you're doing. Now go and play it for like half an hour. It was just, you get a lot of advantages like in that regard as press or streamers and stuff like that. But I guess in the regard of being press, it's kind of important for the developers to get them in there first. Treat them as nicely as possible so they get a good rap after the conference. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with the whole segregation thing between the streamers and
that's the word,
and the audience.
We should wrap this up now.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty interesting talk. So last bit is going to be advice you would give for anyone wanting to get into YouTube.
Talk about Gordon Ramsay more often. No,
God.
I'm going to say find a kind of support network early, because we're all in a big Discord together. And I think since then it's done a lot for me, like looking at my own content and kind of like bouncing ideas off others. Just like being in the presence of other content creators does a lot for inspiration and stuff like that. So if you can find like a tight-knit group of people that you can kind of bounce ideas off, talk with, like we've just done for I don't know how long, it does a lot for not only peace of mind, but also for your content. So make friends, talk to people, don't be shy. And that's the advice I'd give. Also make good videos, of course.
Yes.
Don't make terrible videos. There we go.
Pretty good advice.
That was meant to come off a lot more sincere than it did.
Oh, sure. Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. So, all right, that's it for the podcast, everyone. Where can everyone find you?
So that is Official Checkpoint on YouTube, Real Checkpoint on... No, it's Official Checkpoint on Twitch as well, and at Real Checkpoint on Twitter, because my branding is all over the place. Enjoy.
Yes, because you chose Checkpoint as your name.
Yeah, and like 3 other people used it at the minute, which is brilliant. But
Yeah.
too late now to change it. So that's me.
There you go. Yeah, you just change it to I'm Steve, I'm Check, and I'm Point, and you're good. Oh no, but there you go.
I am both Check and Point.
Just take off the mask. I am both. Just me with a filter. That's all Check was. Check was just me with a filter, guys. How did you not tell? How could you not?
YouTube drama.
Oh my god. Oh god, YouTube. Oh god. Oh, that's why tabloids are successful. Why Piers Morgan is successful? Because people love tabloids. Oh my god, people love drama. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake. People love drama. Ugh.
Yeah, maybe we should make our own like fake drama scarf, and then we'll both blow up, and it'll be amazing.
Oh god, I no.
Wait, let's say something outrageous right at the end of the podcast to get people talking about us. I think
Excuse me,
scarf smells really bad. Oh god!
If you saw what I'm wearing, you would get that. You would understand. Well, I rushed here from the gym, so yes, I do.
So there was some truth to that then.
I have some dignity, sir. I'm not going to proceed in such rabble rousing. No.
Hey, but the current state of YouTube, you got to take what you can get.
Oh god, I don't even know anymore. We could go on. We can go on longer on that, but for now, that is the podcast. Before we just go another hour. I had fun talking. Yeah,
it was great.
You had fun. So you had fun talking, I had fun talking, everyone has fun talking, and maybe listening as well. Thanks for coming by, everyone, to basically a podcast. As always, give feedback if you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been me, LostScarf, and this has been Steve from Checkpoint.
Yep, thanks for having me.
See you next time, everybody.
See you later. Bye.